A student working secretly as an online entertainer discovers that she's being stalked by a mysterious drone. At a museum that's being restored, Emily tours with her architecture class led by Richard. The professor asks what they think of the building's restoration, and Olivier isn't impressed since there's nothing new. He also points out that the outdoor view is too obvious and simple. Emily argues that the simplicity is good, and Richard agrees. The museum is meant for aircrafts, and having a view of the open air is a good backdrop for the pieces that will be displayed. He believes that considering these things is part of the architect's job. Richard then gives his students a project: pick a heritage structure and redesign it for restoration. If he likes it, he'll consider their design for his firm. As they head out, Olivier advises Emily not to make it obvious how she admires their professor since it bloats his ego. He also notices that she's new to the city, so he invites her to his party tonight. Later, Emily goes to the university office to apply for a scholarship. According to her records, however, she already received financial aid from her previous university, so she can only apply for emergency assistance now. This is only if she's not working, but Emily reveals that she has a home-based job, though it's not enough to make ends meet. The officer wonders what her job is, and Emily doesn't answer. In truth, her work is entertaining clients through video calls. She entertains a client that evening and poses for him to satisfy his needs. Unbeknownst to her, a drone watches her through her window. After this, Emily attends Olivier's party and is surprised to see that he lives in a big home. Olivier explains that his parents are loaded, then apologizes for not being able to help her out financially, assuming that she might ask. Emily denies this. The woman later checks her phone to see clients waiting to see her. Just then, Mina approaches her, wondering if she's Olivier's new target. Emily denies this, but Mina insists since she's part of the architectural elite now. Mina used to study architecture too, but she switched to music, revealing that the one playing at the party is hers. She lets Emily listen to the music further, then asks what she thinks of it. Emily pauses for a moment before commenting that the music reminds her of a helicoid. Late that evening, Mina gives Emily a ride home but stops for a snack. During this, Mina invites her new friend to see her play on Friday, and Emily promises to go. An awkward silence then fills the air until the two lean for a kiss, confirming their attraction for each other. However, Emily apologizes and hurries to leave. The next morning, Emily attends a video call with her class to discuss their project. However, she receives a prompt that a client wants to see her, so she leaves the call and prepares for work. Late that day, Emily goes to an abandoned factory that she found within the city. She uses the chance to view the structure but is surprised when she sees a drone following her. As she checks the device, something moves behind her, making her turn. When she looks back at the drone, it disappears. That night, Emily goes to the club where Mina is working as the DJ. She admires the woman from afar but struggles to get close. Instead, she records a video of Mina before leaving. To her horror, she finds the drone still watching her when she arrives home. Just then, an unknown number sends her money, making her wonder if the drone is operated by a mysterious client. She looks down to see if someone is controlling it from outside but doesn't see anyone. With no choice, Emily shuts her blinds and rejects the money. She then calls the hotline for her site to report that a client sent her money directly, which shouldn't have happened. The agent assures her that they didn't share her personal details with a client, so she might have accidentally shared them with someone during a transaction. Another possibility is that the sender was someone she personally knew. With this in mind, Emily opens her blinds again to see the drone, but it's gone. The next day, the class is given VR headsets to help them create a 3D mock-up of their designs. Afterward, Richard reminds Emily to submit her proposal since she's the only one who hasn't. Emily reveals that she chose an abandoned factory, though it's not yet considered a heritage site. Instead, there are ongoing plans to turn it into a cultural center. Richard thinks it's unfair for her to work on this when the rest followed his instructions. Still, Emily insists, so Richard hints that he'll decide her fate in this class after she presents her work. Intent on proving herself, Emily returns to the building and breaks her way into the basement to study the foundations. There, she discovers a room with discarded mirrors. She spends all night working on her design while ignoring messages from potential clients. Soon, however, one pays for her time, so Emily takes the call, only to find that it's Olivier. He reveals that he discovered her secret after she left her phone lying around at the party. He assures her that he understands her situation, but Emily tells him to find another woman to meet. Olivier insists on using her services since he paid already. He also feels excited to be the only one who knows her secret. Still, Emily refuses, then threatens to reveal that he uses these services. However, Olivier argues that her secret is worse. Panicked, Emily shuts her laptop off. She goes out jogging to calm down but remains distracted the next day. While studying, she takes comfort in watching the video she took of Mina, and this makes her smile. That night, she receives money from the unknown client again, and the drone returns outside her window. Hoping to end this, Emily reluctantly accepts the money, then stands in front of the drone, allowing it to record her. The next morning, while working on her design, her VR headset receives a notification. Emily wears it, and, to her surprise, she watches the drone's aerial view of the factory she's been working on. Still afraid of the device, Emily removes the headset. However, it did show her the building in a new angle, giving her ideas. The following day, Emily presents her design to the class. However, her classmates agree that she didn't follow instructions since her building isn't a heritage site. The woman argues that she designed this with the idea of turning the old factory into a new social heritage site since it's still part of their modern history. She defends how the site is still relevant since it's become the location for teenagers to hang out, draw graffiti in, and even meet as couples. She believes in highlighting how it witnessed changes in their society. Olivier criticizes how she already broke the rules and now wants to preserve a ruined building that could serve a better purpose. Richard agrees that Emily's work didn't meet the conditions he gave her. Still, he admits that her work seems the most promising so far, and the idea of using this as a social heritage site is intriguing. With that, he allows her to continue working on it. That night, the class goes out for drinks with Emily feeling more comfortable around her peers. However, Olivier is frustrated that she got complimented for breaking the rules while Richard looked down on his work. Yael argues that he's not the only one who got a bad review, but Olivier argues that the ladies are attracted to their professor, so they don't care that much about his criticism. Yael defends that Richard is an accomplished architect and is attractive. However, Maeva points out that Richard had allegedly stolen ideas from colleagues, and this is why many architects left his firm. Emily defends that the firm bears Richard's name, so maybe that's why he's the only one who stays. Hearing this, Olivier hints that she must have a special bond with the professor, wondering if she charges him for her time. This threatens Emily, so she leaves. Olivier follows her and apologizes for what he said. However, the woman doesn't accept his apology, and this angers him. He starts pushing her and cornering her into a wall. She tells him that he's scaring her, and Olivier mocks if she's scared because he's not Richard. This prompts Emily to slap him, but Olivier suddenly kisses her and tries forcing himself on her. He only stops when the drone arrives, distracting him long enough to let Emily escape. She rushes home and finds the drone by her window. Her VR headset then receives something, so Emily checks and watches the drone's point of view as it flies across the city. It then shows Mina in her apartment, and Emily feels excited to see the woman. The next day, Richard invites Emily to his office to discuss her work. He reveals that he was impressed by her design, so he sent it to the regional council, and they decided to build her project. With this, Richard invites Emily to work in his firm. Late that evening, Emily wakes up when she receives a message. She finds that it's a live stream from the drone, which has found Olivier relieving himself from the port. Soon after, the drone returns to Emily just before she receives more money. On another night, Emily is working on her designs at the factory when Mina visits her. Emily assures her that she went to see her show the other night, but she hesitated in facing her. She admits that she's not used to having a relationship, but it's not because of Mina. Instead, there's something in her past that she can't erase. Mina asks what it is, and Emily tearfully says it's what happens to women all the time. Realizing what she means, Mina embraces her. She then invites her to her apartment, where she shows Emily what she's been working on. She uses vibrations to let her feel the beat, before mixing Emily's voice to create a song. They enjoy the music they made together before taking their relationship to the next level. However, Emily spots the device outside the window, so she shuts the curtains but doesn't warn Mina about it. After Mina falls asleep, Emily checks on the drone and sees that it's still there. She then receives payment again, but this time she rejects it, not wanting to involve Mina in this. However, the sender doubles the amount, yet Emily continues to reject it before shutting the curtains again. Determined to find out who's controlling the drone, Emily meets with her friend, Cody, the next day. He's part of a group specializing in drones, so she describes the device to him. Cody notes that the design is different from what's in the market, while his friends wonder if it's a prototype for a new design. With this in mind, Cody doubts it's from a regular stalker. Emily then comments how this drone makes no sound unlike theirs, but the group doubts a drone like that exists. After his group leaves, Cody mentions rumors that some drones are designed to be spies or assassins. However, he assures her that he's never seen drones like that. On another day, Emily attends a meeting at Richard's firm to discuss plans for the factory, though she gets blindsided when her mentor changes a crucial part of her design. She tries defending her ideas, but the man dismisses her before ending the meeting. Seeing this, Richard's secretary warns Emily that her boss isn't a good man. For now, he still likes Emily as an architect, but if she doesn't do exactly what he says, he can ruin her career. This thought weighs heavily on her mind after she leaves. Making matters worse, she arrives at the university and learns that Olivier is dead. Maeva shares that Olivier was missing for 2 days and his drowned body was found this morning. The class later gathers at his family's home to mourn him. However, Emily can't help but think of the night the drone showed her Olivier by the port. Despite this, Emily wants to confirm if Olivier was controlling the drone, so she sneaks into his room and searches for clues. She soon finds his laptop, but only discovers that he has been saving photos of her online persona. With this, she deletes the images to keep her secret hidden. On another night, she goes to the bar where Olivier was last seen and asks the bartender what happened to him. The bartender saw that Olivier was troubled and very drunk that night, so he assumes that he just accidentally fell into the water. He also mentions that after the man left the bar, he spotted Olivier relieving himself over the quay. Emily goes to the spot, but she receives money again. The drone appears behind her and sends her the video of Olivier's body in the water. Scared, Emily runs, but the drone keeps finding her. She retreats into a parking building, but the drone speeds around her as if to trap her. Emily screams and the lights suddenly go out. She manages to run for the exit, only to get hit by a car. The driver checks on her, but the panicked woman just enters the car, begging for a ride. She soon arrives home and closes her blinds. However, her stalker sends her a feed of the drone as it hovers outside Mina's apartment. The drone gets in through an open window, and, as it hovers above the sleeping woman, more money is sent to Emily. Panicked, she accepts the money, and the drone leaves Mina unharmed. Emily then lets the drone inside her apartment and tearfully gives it a show. The next day, Richard and his team are in the factory to start planning the renovation. However, Emily arrived late and is still working on the scans of the basement. While there, she grows more and more paranoid about the drone watching her. Richard soon checks on her, and Emily pretends that she's fine. However, her mentor knows that the university didn't approve her scholarship application, so he offers to let the firm help. He assures her that this can help her find an apartment closer to the city. Emily becomes suspicious as to how he knows she lives further away, making her wonder if he's the stalker. Soon, she attends Olivier's funeral. Mina approaches her and assures her that she's okay with her job. Apparently, the police found her pictures on Olivier's laptop and questioned his friends about this, thus revealing her secret to their peers. Emily soon sees that people are already glancing at her with suspicion, so she runs away with Mina on her tail. She spends the night at Mina's apartment and they soon become intimate again. However, the drone returns. This time, she discreetly warns Mina, so the woman hurries Emily out so they can report this to the police. The two ride Mina's motorcycle, but the drone follows them. Mina speeds up and tries dodging it, but the drone catches her by surprise, making her swerve and throwing them off the vehicle. A wounded Emily hurries to Mina, who's severely injured. She calls the ambulance and kisses the woman goodbye as they take her away to the hospital. Mortified and broken, Emily weeps on the bus. She then realizes that the stalker might be tracking her phone, so she removes her SIM card and turns off her device. She retreats to Cody's apartment, who confirms that her stalker might have already hacked into her phone and computer. He asks her to give him access to her laptop so that he can track down the stalker. Unbeknownst to them, more drones are hidden underground, with dozens of them flying through the city to their designated targets. Videos captured by these drones are then uploaded to the dark web. Late that evening, Emily calls the hospital and learns that Mina is in a coma. She asks when she'll wake up, but the doctor admits that she might not wake up at all. Meanwhile, Cody uploads Emily's sketch of the drone to a Discord server and eventually receives a tip about the drone's website. The page is encrypted, so he makes multiple attempts to break into it, finally gaining access as a new customer. The website shows him where live streams of events around the world are captured by drones. He finds one for Emily, so he calls his friend to warn her there are more drones, and the group behind it is too big for them to tackle alone. Hearing this, Emily decides to take matters into her own hands. With her phone in hand, she lures the drone into the abandoned factory. She then leads it deeper into the basement where she ambushes it with a pipe. The drone flies away while Emily realizes that she accidentally landed on sharp bars, wounding her. The drone soon returns and scratches her with its wings. Emily then heads deeper underground, but accidentally knocks her head on a wall. Despite this, she limps to the room with the mirrors. Cody watches all of this unfold while he works on reversing the live feeds on the website. Soon, he manages to switch the feed to show him the audience, revealing their identities. He then sees Emily confuse the drone with the mirrors before finally smashing it to bits. Despite what's happening, her viewers merely watch as if seeing a normal movie. Soon, the feed cuts, and Emily stares at her bloodied face, glad that it's finally over. Months later, Emily has moved into a new city with Mina, who recovered from the accident. With a new place, a new partner, and no drone outside the window, Emily looks forward to being free.
Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.